Hello, fatty bum bum. What are you doing out in the rain? Cheers, everybody. Campers and glampers, welcome back to another Camp COVID. Lockdown in the garden. So how are you all keeping? Are you able to maintain your sanity? This is week 4 or week 5. I've lost track, to be honest. I didn't manage to get the video up last week. I had made the preparations, which you'll see which was in the first part of this video. I got a knock on the door, kind of strange. It was a neighbour. My sheep decided they would go for a dander into the town, so they managed they managed to get out. One managed to get out, and of course they acted as the way sheep do. Decided to go out for a bit of a dander. It was fair enough. Don't particularly know where they wanted to go to, but no matter. Bit of crack, so took a while to rustle them back up again, bring them back, tell them off. Very naughty sheep. So anyway, a couple of shout outs for I remember. couple of new subscribers to the channel, if you bear with me 1 second. So tell me, what are you doing to stay sane? Are you just camping out in the garden? What are you doing? Let's see now.
Guys, lucky blue.
Right, so Chris Roberts, shout out to you, mate. Chris has done something extremely interesting. He's a couple of YouTube channels, and on one particular one, damned if I can remember the name of it. Remember, I'll link it at the bottom. He has documented a vlog every day for the past, oh, must be up to about 35 days, where he makes a few observations. Only lasts for a couple of minutes, but it'll probably be actually an historic record of this pandemic, how life has changed for everybody, really. I don't like the expression the new normal. For me it's the new abnormal. But cheers, Chris. Shout out to you. Paul, Bulldog Drones. Thank you, mate. Cinco, Cave Hill Rock. Good man yourself. New subscriber, Peter O'Halloran. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, mate. Let me know how you get on with your OEX Cougar 2. Hopefully it suits you. It's a great tent. Crazy Bear Kaiser, cheers Ian. Cruising the waterways. Hopefully lockdown will ease by, I think you're going out in your boat in September to the Shannon and Erne, so hopefully, fingers crossed for you, mate, that you're able to get out. Graham Pantella Fox, cheers my boy. That's Graham in Australia. Ben Morrison. What can I say? I was chatting to Ben earlier there. He was showing me some of his setup. He's in lockdown, camp out tonight. You want to see the, oh my goodness, I'm missing out badly on our feasting, mate. Ben has actually dabbled in YouTube, and he's stuck a few of his cooking videos up. You'll get him under Ben Morrison. Why Explorer? Cheers, Mark. Well, I don't actually think you're a subscriber, but you certainly are a good contributor. Appreciate your comments, mate. Shout out to my wee brother Darrell, who's quarantined with Big Maggie. Big Maggie's my mother. Oh yeah, my mum. My wee mum. My big mum. I'm in trouble for that one. Yes, I have the lighter, Darrell. The Zippo lighter that you gifted me. It's actually in my pocket. I'll just prove that it is in my pocket. But I hunted and could I find any gas for it? I like gas, you know, the there you go. Out of fuel for it. It's a great, it's actually a bit of a family heirloom. It was my late father's, I think. Darrell had gifted it to him, and then I was given it on his passing 2 years ago now. God bless you. So yes, other than a bit of excitement with the sheep last week, and what you come on in out of the rain, you daft cat. Here to see you. Here. Hope that wasn't you out shouting and roaring. Look at you're soaked, you half-foot. Come on in here. What are you doing out anyway? Yeah? Come on, sit down by the fire. Sit down by the fire. Pull a chair up. You want a beer? Ah, there. Hopefully there's actually there's a light, there's no wind, and there's a light summer rain. Probably hear it on the tarp. Hopefully it's not too overwhelming where I have the little microphone. Yeah, I hear you. What's wrong with you? Mommy not feed you? Fatty bum. You know out with your mates tonight, no? Gallivanting across the fields. What was I talking about? Oh, where I have that mic placed. I hope it's not too much of a interference with the rain pattering down. Well, the good thing about it is it keeps the midges away, which is a good thing. Yeah, I've actually had to move slightly further away from the fire tonight because it's actually too warm. And now that I have the tarp up, it's just like a pocket of heat just in there. It's just too bloody warm, so they are. Too bloody warm. Dear. So Graham in Australia, my son in Australia, hopefully you are being sensible. But if you take after me, you're probably not being sensible. Where are you going now? Come on out of there. Daft kid. So I haven't managed actually to get the GoPro up for the swallows yet. The little hen swallow, she's actually sitting on eggs at the minute, and she's only gone out once in a blue moon to feed herself, and then she's gone back again. But once the chicks hatch, I'll certainly be sticking the camera up because they are in out. Both the cock and the hen are both in and out every 2 minutes feeding the young. So that should be quite. What is wrong with you? Will you sit down if you're staying? I'll pull your tail. Come on. Come on, sit down. Yeah. Why, you seen the spoon earlier that Ben made me from a spare piece of zebrano wood? Absolutely fantastic. Beautiful. That there will be very nice to use in some of Ben's curries or some stews or nice vegetable soups. Absolutely excellent. Lovely and smooth. Smooth as a baby's nurse. Very nice indeed. I think it's time for me to make another Kuksa. A wee bit of ash, a half circle of ash there, a little stump of ash. I'll maybe try one out of it. Because of lockdown, there's a place I go on Temple Patrick that Ben told me about called the Woodshed. It's in Temple Patrick, and they do all sorts of cuts of wood from exotic woods, all different sorts of wood. And that's where we got the wood this here, which is Scandinavian curly birch. And I made that last year, so I did. I have to be honest with you, I did have to use power tools to get the bowl started, because the knife, because it's been so dried, it's near kiln dried, it's like a brick. But once I got the bowl started, the Dremel, I was able to scoop it out with and then carve it the way I wanted it, and put on the little engravings on either side, little Viking engravings. This here I added a little Viking decoration with a wolf's tooth. Well, it's described as a wolf's tooth. It's probably, well, it's on Amazon, genuine wolf's tooth. It's probably from an Alsatian, or it's probably ceramic. Well, you never know, might be real. I'm just going to check actually on the camera here, if you bear with me. There's a tendency to go flat very quick. I normally ramble on for about half an hour and the camera's already shut down. Come on, you out of the rain. Come on, out of the rain. Oh, there's only one in here. Come on, you fatty bum bum. Oh. So to people who watch this channel, and assuming you're either thinking of getting into camping, you already do a bit of wild camping, but if you're thinking of getting into it, let me know in the comments, and if there's any advice. I mean, I've been camping for years. I've had various pieces of equipment over the years. Not all good, but certainly not all bad either. And there is a bit of a myth that if you have to buy very expensive gear to, it's not always the case. Yes, you'll pay for some of the quality brands like Fjallraven. Now these are the Fjallraven Vita Pro trousers. They weren't overly expensive. I think I paid about 140 quid for them, which I thought was reasonable. But with Fjallraven, extremely expensive brands, but unfortunately I like them. You can't not like them. But they're wild expensive. They really are expensive. So I'm sure, well, I know that there's cheaper alternatives, different brands, and the quality is as good, you know. But you know, when you buy a Fjallraven, you know you're buying a quality garment product. I was looking at, I have 5 tents, and the Vango Banshee 200, which I've had for a few years now. Great starter kit. I would recommend the Vango Banshee 200 to anybody who's starting off, wants a first tent. I have a Smoky Hut by One Tigris, which is a hot tent. It's a still nylon tent, very lightweight, and it has the stove jack for this boil here, the Outbacker stove. So my normal service will be resumed as soon as possible. Yeah, the Smoky Hut, it's great, so it is. But it's not what I would call a... I mean, the like of tonight, when there's not much wind, the wind has died down a bit now, keeps the midges away. With the rain, as it is now, the Smoky Hut would be no problem at all. Cold, frosty nights, perfect. If you scroll back a couple of videos on my channel, there was a bit of a disaster. We were down in the Mourns, and of course the weather forecast as usual was wrong. It started to get really, really stormy. And we were just in a clearing just outside the forest because we anticipated doing a bit of astrophotography. But it started to really, really blow. And the tent wasn't going to survive, so in the middle of the night we had to take it down and go deep into the forest. You'll find it Stormy Wild Camp in the Low Moorns. It was extremely windy, but we managed to get in, set up again in the relative shelter of the forest, and it was a great camp, so it was. I have a OEX Cougar 2, great kit. I also have the OEX Fox 1 one-man tent, which is I've done a review on that there. You scroll back a few channels or a few videos, it's a cracking wee tent. Very lightweight and quite stealthy. And I think my favourite for stealth camping is the Jack Wolfskin one-man gossamer. It's basically a large bivvy. Plenty of room in it. Quite lightweight. And very small footprint. Very nice. Nice, rigid, sturdy little tent. That will be my go-to tent the next time when lockdown's over and Ben and I get out, do a bit of feasting. House, what are you doing? Get out of the rain. Leave that guy rope alone. Come here. Psst, come here. Come on in, sit down. What's wrong with you? Eh? What's wrong with you? Stay out of the rain, you half-wit. Yeah, the wee woman. Sit down. Put up a chair so you're not getting any beer. Ah, dear. So the new abnormal. The new abnormal was in B&Q this morning. I was getting a new door lock, the back door there. I think we spring mechanism come out of it and it's not. Long story short, the new abnormal arrived down at B&Q. Normally, everybody knows, you normally do go down. In you go, get your whatever you've got, and out again. But you have to park up, and you join the queue outside around the car park. And probably about 25 minutes, half an hour in the queue, social distancing, blah blah. Some wearing masks, some not wearing masks. I was wearing a mask. Hand sanitizer on the way in. Got my lock. And then queued for the tills. The queue for the till was actually longer than the queue to get into the place in the first place. So, is that what it's going to be like? How long is that going to be, do you think? I can't see it being relaxed. Well, certainly the social distancing part. I think masks are going to be compulsory in public, which they are in some other countries. God almighty, what a strange time we're living in now. Crazy altogether. So our phase 1 of coming out of lockdown, with 5 stages in Northern Ireland. The first stage will start, or the first phase, or whatever you want to call it, will be on Monday. This is Saturday. Will be on Monday. And basically the only, excuse me, the difference is on Monday you can go to garden centres, providing you maintain social distancing. You can go to garden centres and you can go to public amenity sites, recycling sites, you know, to get rid of, I don't know, I have an old fridge freezer that needs taken and couldn't take it, so I'm not going to go on Monday for the simple reason it's going to be absolutely swamped. The third thing that came out of it in phase 1 is that terminally ill people can get married, which I didn't think. Well, I suppose weddings, yeah, weddings were banned, weren't they? Yeah, I think they were. But in England, they have relaxed. I mean, the Peak District is open, but the advice is don't go. You can go legally, you're not going to get stopped by the police and fined, but the general consensus is don't go, for the simple reason everybody's going to go. Everybody's going to go. It's just going to be pandemonium. Here, the reason there's no talk or moves about wild camping, because technically wild camping is illegal here in Northern Ireland. Unless you're wild camping on, I suppose, public grounds or private grounds with permission. I'm actually trying, there's an estate near me, a heavily wooded estate, and I'm going to actually approach the owners and inquire about maybe renting a small part of their forest to do some wild camping and bushcraft. But certainly the whole point of wild camping is just to get away from everywhere, get away from everyone and get into the wilds basically. And if you can be as stealthy and leave as little a footprint as you can, then it's a successful camp as far as I'm concerned. And I mean, Ben and I camp up in Kinbean Head up the North Antrim coast. Ruggedly beautiful, wild seascape. Beautiful, beautiful spot to camp out. So Cinco, if you're thinking about it, don't think about it, just do it. But what I noticed is, in the place where we go to, at Kinbean Head, beside the old fisherman's cottage, there's very few people there because it's a real hike down. It's torture going back up again. Basically, vertically down, vertically up again. And it's a bit of a hike, alright. It's no problem for Cinco. Cave Hill Rock. He's up on the Highmoorns on a regular basis. But I noticed there's a sign went up just as you come in. Now, we've been camping up there for years. Leave no trace, nobody will know that we're ever there. That's the whole ethics behind wild camping. They put a sign up, no drones, no aerial photography, no camping, no, 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 no. I'm sorry, but I'll not be abiding by those rules. I think everybody has a right to wander. As long as you're not doing any harm to the environment, you're not leaving scorch marks or leaving litter, and nobody knows you're there or you have been there. All you leave is a few brain cells and memories. So yeah, so tell me in the comments, would you please make an effort. What are you doing during lockdown? If you're a wild camper, what are you doing? I know in a couple of the Facebook pages I follow, Bushcraft Ulster, there's quite a lot, but sit out in the back garden, bring the kids out, and have a little barbecue, etc., etc. So what are you doing, and what are your plans when lockdown? Where's the first place you're going to go when lockdown is over? I have a few plans lined up. Has anybody ever camped on Rathlin Island? If you've camped on Rathlin Island, let me know the pros and the cons. I mean, you have to judge the weather right there, because if you get marooned there, you could be there more than one night. You could be there for a while. Till the weather sorts itself out. Technically speaking, again, I suppose it's not really legal, but you're a stealth wild camper and you leave no trace. This is quite surreal, really. Normally, for this length of time of chatting, you would hear at least a couple of airplanes flying over. Just nothing. Absolutely nothing. Another shout out to Maria, Man's Store in Midland, County Cork, for the lovely sheepskin rug that she gifted me, which I have here. If you're watching, Maria, thank you very much indeed. Where are we? There it is there. So I'll be leaving that there. That'll be my pillow for this evening. It's funny when you let the fire go down a bit, the heat goes away. Hopefully there's enough ember there to light it up again. So I dyed my hair grey. What do you think? It's getting quite long at the back, so it is. I'm thinking actually what I'll do is I'll grow a ponytail. One of those sort of ponytails. I'll get it shaved at the sides and shorten the top, shave along the sides, and get a couple of tattoos on the side of the cheeks here. Second midlife crisis. I have no tattoos, and I'm thinking of getting a tattoo. Maybe a sunflower on my arse or something like that there, I don't know. Actually quite surprised at the price. Well, I was shocked actually at the price of tattoos. I mean, Ben's a couple of sleeves. I think he's one sleeve for his tattoos and whatnot, you know. Everybody I know's got tattoos basically. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have a tattoo. I don't know, I suppose the reason I have never got a tattoo is because and the sooner would I have it on, I would have said to myself, oh, what the hell did I get that for? I wanted this or I wanted that. Like, sorry, battery just died there. Just meant I was rambling for about 20 minutes with no camera on. So, yeah, tattoos. You need to think very seriously about getting one. Excuse me. Cheers, everybody. Tonight I'm on a nice mellow red, jammy red roux by, who's it by? In case you're interested, it's a very mild red. Yellowtail, yeah. Australian red wine. Jammy Red Roo, the kangaroo on the front. It's a very mild red. Complements steak dinners and various red meats. Yeah, I definitely think I'll make another Kuksa. Just for the sheer satisfaction of actually making your own Kuksa. You actually don't ever buy a Kuksa, make your own. There's plenty of resources on YouTube on how to make them, but I mean, last a lifetime, and they are unique and personal to you. You can decorate it whatever way you want, and that's just a great utensil. This particular one here that I made from Scandinavian curly birch has a nice red patina inside it from all the red wine, and you still, even to this day, I guess made this what, last year, about a year or so, you still get that lovely wood type taste in the wine, but it's more pronounced and more beneficial when you have a single malt Scotch whisky in it, or even a Bushmills. You get a lovely woody texture in it. It's just really enhances the flavour of alcohol, your Kuksa. Of course, drinking it out of a wet sock would also enhance it, but that's by the by. Yeah, so hopefully my voice is not drowned out by the pitter-patter of the rain on the tarp. And Chris, yes, definitely get one of those stoves. Incredibly good. I mean, it's just, what shape have I got this up? I guess sort of a diamond shape. But yeah, I mean, the whole front is up, it's enclosed at the back, like, you know, you could throw your mat down there, your sleeping bag. You wouldn't be using this, you'd be fashioning a long piece of wood, some deadwood, standing deadwood, fallen deadwood, and make a pole, a natural pole. I just stuck that up there. I'm not going to cut my own trees down. I would not cut any of the forest trees down either, as I say, dead standing or dead lying. But yeah, the heat, I actually have moved further away tonight because of the heat of that there. It's just too warm. And what it's doing is it's actually trapping a nice cushion of air inside here. So actually up here you can feel, as the hot air rises, you can feel the heat up here. It's just, they're just great. Don't know how I coped without one before. But coped I did, and coped you do too if you don't have one. You notice it in the winter months. Okay, so you're not going to put that stove into a Van Gogh Banshee or a Jack Wolfskin one-man gossamer tent. You need a hot tent, and the lightest hot tent that I've got is, as I said earlier, the Smoky Hut by One Tigris, but it's a frail tent, which leads me on again then to getting the Polish Lavu, which I'm getting. I'm not thinking about getting. I'm getting one. I'm actually getting one. I haven't ordered it yet, but I'm getting one. For those of you who don't know, most of you probably do know, a Polish Lavu is basically two patrol ponchos. You know, you're two Polish soldier guys, and they're out on patrol in Poland, and they are out and on a long patrol. They can take their ponchos off, join them together, and make basically a wigwam, teepee type structure. And they are absolutely, there's been loads of videos on YouTube of the Polish Lavu. And the good thing about it is you can use the pockets, one of the pockets, as a stove jack for this particular stove. And in the winter months, when you know you're this yourself, it's, you're Baltic, it can be really, really cold if you don't have the right gear. And even when you do have, I mean, I use the Corinthian Defence 4 sleeping bag. God, that sleeping bag. If you don't, or you're thinking of getting a good tent, or a good sleeping bag, and you see a Corinthian Defence 4 coming up for sale, second hand, get one, get it. They have a comfort rating to minus 15 degrees centigrade and survival up to minus 35. Too hot in the summer. I use it in the summer as a quilt. I don't even get into it, just unzip it and throw it over myself. Or else I use this, the deer skin, just throw it over. This is really good too, so it is. You ever seen a reindeer shivering in Lapland? But yeah, certainly Corinthian Defence 4 sleeping bag. Real lofty downs. There's a weight penalty with it. It's quite bulky, but it compresses really well. And I actually was looking on Gumtree for sleep bags, and a guy had 2 for sale unused. 2 for sale, 40 quid each, or both for 60. But I just got the one for 40. I should have got both of them. But they are an incredible bag, and a lot of Negrio outdoors, he uses the Sergeant Fruitcake, he uses Corinthian Defence 4. A great bag. Very comfortable as well. So if you get a chance, you come across one, get it. If you're buying them new, you're about 150 quid. Army surplus. You can get them unused. But certainly, there's loads. I mean, I'm not preaching to anybody. There's loads. I'm just giving you my outtake on my sleeping bag. Haven't needed another sleeping bag. I have a snug pack jungle bag, you know, for the summer. Which is okay, but I've found our summer nights aren't the warmest. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. But if you're caught out, I'd rather be too warm and able to strip off than being too cold and not being able to add more, if you understand that. Funny enough, I was looking at Go Outdoors. They're doing their online advertising, and there's a Rab sleeping bag, and it's around about the 700 quid mark, right? 700 quid, and it has a comfort rating to about -5 and survival to -10. I don't even think it's as far down as that there, actually, you know. How in the hell? Why would you pay 700 quid for a sleeping bag? It doesn't give you an extreme of -35 degrees centigrade or comfort of -15 degrees centigrade. Okay, realistically, we're not going to get those sort of temperatures here in Northern Ireland, but I mean, top of Ben Nevis, you might get close to -10, maybe, degrees centigrade. But if you're like me and Ben, we're planning on going maybe to Lapland at some stage, northern Scandinavia, in a winter, don't know which winter, next year. We'll see how this whole bloody coronavirus thing goes, but whether that's going to curtail or be the new abnormal for years to come or whatever. But yeah, you're going to need absolute survival gear that basically your life depends on. Like everything else, going expensive doesn't mean to say you're going bad. I mean, Rab at 700 quid, Corinthian Defence 4, if you were buying it new, I've seen it for 150, I've seen it for around about the 100 mark, and I've got it 40 quid in Gumtree, unused. So do your homework, do your internet trolling, and you never know. One thing you just have to get is a Tilly lamp. Tilly storm lamp. A Tilly storm lamp. Just listen to the hiss. And they give that beautiful ambient glow. It's a luxury when you're going wild camping. There's no doubt about it. They weigh about they weigh about a kilo. And if you have a full tank of paraffin in it, which you will need, probably about a kilo and a half, so a bit of a weight penalty too. There's a glass globe, so I keep it in a Unigear roll-up bag for protection. I don't bring two. I've got 4 altogether, but I only bring 1. And it's worth the extra slug of weight, just simply for the ambience of the light that they give out around camp. I mean, they're incredible, absolutely incredible. Don't expect to pay anything less than about 150 quid for one if you were buying one from Tilly International. And even at that, it'll be a refurb jobby. I troll the likes of Marketplace and Gumtree for Tilly lamps. So when you get them, there'll be no mantle. The seals will all be rotted away, and basically you have to service them yourself and renovate them yourself, which is not hard to do. Basically, you buy a seal kit, SP1, SP2 seal kits from Tilly International. You just dismantle the whole thing, replace the seals, put it back together again, and order the proper Tilly mantles, and off you go. They are absolutely fantastic. I mean, they hold 3/4 to a pint of paraffin, and that will last you, if you lit it at 7 o'clock in the evening, that will last you right through to 7 o'clock the following morning with a continuous bright light. If you find that the light is dimming, all you do is pump up the pressure a little bit. I'll do a video actually on the restoration of an old Tilly, the maintenance of a Tilly, and how to light a Tilly. It's a bit of a learning curve actually. They're a bit awkward and footery, and there's a bit of fanning about to do actually to get it lit, but once you get the technique down, you can have the Tilly lit in about 5 minutes from when you put the paraffin in until you're sitting enjoying the light. About 5 minutes. They're not just a switch on jobby. I remember my granny, old farmhouse in Ballynahinch, and in the bedroom upstairs when we used to stay there, there was an open fire in the bedroom, and there was no electric in the place, and there was a Tilly lamp just at the window, and Granny went up and lit it. Now the window was one of those old sash windows, you know, the one you push up, and it was always, you always left it open slightly, just basically to keep a nice airflow in, because the Tilly, although it does not give out anything, if you're using the correct paraffin and it's burning properly, it'll not give out any carbon monoxide, but it will use a lot of oxygen in the room, so it's always good to have a nice fresh air supply coming in. They're pretty popular on boats, cruisers and stuff like that there. But yeah, certainly a bygone era lantern. But yeah, I remember that hiss. Maybe that's why I love the hiss so much. I remember that hiss in my granny's, and the fire would have been turf on the fire, not the peat briquettes that you get nowadays, but the old style turf. They would have a whole shed full of it, and it would be roaring up the chimney. The room would be lovely and warm, and my childhood memory of just that hiss and that beautiful light in the old farmhouse. It's funny how memories stick in your mind, you know. Yeah. I'll stick a couple more wee logs on here. I can't for the life of me imagine how anyone There we go. I got a new piece of software actually, and it's able to let me know the trollers who watch this. The ones who, well, that's not trolls, no, but like of Bev and Suzanne in Canada and the Crankster in Crosshaven. I see you. I see you. You pay, what's it called, Tube Buddy or something out there. It's a bit of a premium, but it lets you know your audience, it lets you know who likes, it lets you know who dislikes, lets you know who doesn't, let you know who subscribes if their settings are on private. My settings are on private. But yeah, I'm only joking. You just don't know who actually watches you, or who has the patience to listen to a ramble. Oh, tell you, last night, barn owl I'd come out of the house and was heading over to the car for something, and just out of the corner of my eye, just this flash and complete silence. You know, if it was a pigeon, you hear this, but just complete and utter silence. The barn owl was about the end of my wall as I was going down my steps to the driveway, and it was sitting on the wall, and just complete silence. And that's a barn owl, by the way. They just have this sort of maybe not, but that's how I interpret it. And off it went. Complete silence, you know, amazing bird. Now you'd see barn owl here. I used to see barn owls here reasonably regularly, twice, 2, 3 times a week. Then you would see them maybe just once a month if you were lucky. And now with this lockdown, I am seeing them quite regularly, which is good. Such a beautiful bird. Absolutely beautiful bird. Mind you, their call at night time is not so beautiful. In old Irish folklore, it was the banshee calling, the harbinger of death, if you like. And there's nothing as unnerving as hearing a barn owl screech in the wee small hours of the morning. It is the most unnerving noise. It's like an old woman screaming in agony. And I remember sitting out in the garden one night. I wasn't camping out or anything out there. I was sitting out, as you do. Beautiful summer's evening, or summer's morning. It was about 2 in the morning actually, and the barn owl started to screech, and you could hear the dogs in the neighbouring farms all around the country barking. It unnerves the dogs. It really unnerves them. And if you're not a country person and you're from the city and you heard it for the first time, yes, it's a banshee. It's like a screaming demon. Yeah, an amazing sound. If you don't believe me, YouTube the sound of a barn owl in the middle of the night. It's quite unnerving on a very, very quiet, windless night. I'll just check this camera again. Most of the time I'm chattering away and the bloody thing is switched off. Yeah, just reset it again there. I mean, 21 minutes it was recording there, but sometimes it just, I don't know, I think it was 15 minutes. It depends on the temperature. You know what? I don't know. What do I know? A car! My goodness. Civilization. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually take a video of last year, right? Was at Loch Henny. There's a lake near me, and I camp there sometimes. And I had one of those wee child's fishing nets with me, right? And there's a lot of little minnows, and I scooped up, and there must have been about 15 or 20 little fry in the net, the size of your fingernail. And because I keep tropical fish, I had a spare tank, and what I did, I used a spare tank and I put the little fry into it, and they were rudd, and fed them, didn't change their water, left their water as it is to mature. And what am I doing? Well, I think, and basically, cut a long story short, there's two of the little fry are now, wasn't last year, it was just 2 years. 2 years I have them. Yeah, it would be 2 years. Two survived, and I now have two freshwater rods in my fish tank in the study that are 8 inches long, about that there, and fine specimens of, I mean, I've actually caught, when I'm fishing there, I've actually caught smaller fish than the ones I have got now. So two survived out of, what did I say, 20 odd or whatever fry it was. And I think it's time now to break the lockdown rules, to give them their freedom. And as I was saying to the wife earlier, it says, they've survived with me for 2 years. I feed them normal fish food, tropical fish food, goldfish fish food. And they have the beautiful colours, the big red eyes, absolutely gorgeous. I like rudd. And I'm going to give them their freedom. But I know that, sorry, more or less faffing about. Oops. Nearly. So I'm actually going to do a little video and release them back to where they came from 2 years later. So I'm thinking to myself, they'll probably be in the lake for 30 seconds and a big pike will come along and breakfast, lunch. Because I don't think they have learnt any survival skills in a fish tank. Was it wrong of me to keep them in a fish tank? I don't know. Probably. I mean, it's the life, 2 years, all they've ever known is a fish tank. Well, I'm going to give them their freedom in the wide open lake of Loch Henry. Now there's a lake steeped in history. Yeah. Not far actually from where Ben and I camp at that lake, there's a crannog. And near that crannog, or was it on the crannog? Anyway, a helmet was found. And it was one of those, was it 15th century or 16th century? So the 1500s, it was the Battle of, it was the Galaglas, who were a warrior, elite warrior clan from Scotland. And whatever the I'm not quite sure of the history behind it all, but they were like a sort of a hired mercenary type clan, and whenever the local skirmishes and wars that were going on in Ireland in those days, there was a battle at Loch Henry, and this helmet was found by a farmer in, I think it was 1890s, early 1900s, might have been even later, 1940s, 50s. They brought it out of Loch Henry. It's in the Ulster Museum in Belfast. The helmet's one of those like sort of metal helmets, you know, with the nose piece, the eye, sort of things, you know. Incredible history that's on your doorstep, really. Incredible. I don't really give that story much justice. I must actually tell you after a wee bit more research. But fascinating that when we camped there, there was people who generations ago, you know, would have been on that same little site. Incredible, blows my mind. It was like in Leganani Dolmen in Dramara Mountains. There's a dolmen there, and thousands of years ago, you know, that was a burial place for, I suppose you could say, our ancestors, really. You know, they would have been dressed in reindeer skins. Well, maybe not reindeer, but certainly deer skins, bear skins. Because the last wolf in Ireland became extinct in 1953. So up until 1953, there was wolves in Ireland. It's quite amazing, really. There's human progress for you. And no more wolves. But yeah, I always get this absolutely tingly feeling when I'm at an ancient monument, old castle. You just wonder about the people who stood on the spot that you're standing on, you know, and the culture, the politics, even the language was slightly different. In those days, it just sends shivers up my spine, so it does, you know, when I'm in these places. I love old castles, old ruins, old Neolithic monuments. Incredible. And luckily in Ireland we are blessed with thousands of them. Very magical. very magical. Well, basically I think I've rambled enough tonight. And fair play to you if you have watched the whole thing through. The ramblings of a madman. But yeah, hey, strange times we're living in, folks. You know, here we are in the 21st century, and we can't go anywhere because of a deadly virus. Who would have thought in the 21st century and the advances we have in medicine and epidemiology and virology and every sort of ology, who would have thought that we are all locked down, socially distancing ourselves from everybody else because of a deadly virus? Crazy, crazy, crazy when you think about it, really. I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but there's a lot of questions have to be asked. There really does. Considering, for instance, at this particular same time, there's more people have been dying from the flu and severe colds than coronavirus. Now there are vaccines for the flu and severe colds, but people are still dying. Is there going to be a vaccine for COVID-19? We remain to see if that is the case, but certainly, I mean, the world economy has taken a nosedive, there's no doubt about that. Germany's in recession. A lot of the Eastern Bloc, a lot of the European countries are going to be heading that way. The UK is going to be heading into recession. The only one I think is going to come out of it is actually Trump's America. Believe it, like him or loathe him, he's a businessman. He's now. When you mention Trump, you know, you say to yourself, I neither like the guy or dislike the guy, but what I really loathe is the reporting of the guy. It's incredible, the hysterical negativity, if you like, with this particular president. That's what really gets me, is the, I suppose you could call it the bought and paid for media of the extreme left, the New World Order type. But then that's a discussion for another ramble of another evening. But you have to ask yourself one thing. You have to ask yourself this. And the question is it as bad as the media is portraying it as? For the simple reason that more people are dying with the flu than coronavirus, but at the same time you still don't want to catch it. I don't know, I just can't put my finger on it. I'm abiding by the rules, yes, I'm abiding by the rules. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Everybody's the same. Everybody's thinking is it as bad as what it's being portrayed by the media? Because the figures don't stack up. Again, a conversation for another evening. But in the meantime, look after yourselves, look after each other, stay in, keep washing the hands, and God bless, and thanks for watching.